Dear students, a very good morning to all of you. We are discussing parts of speech in detail one by one, and in the first part of speech, today we are going to discuss the possessive or genitive case of noun. How can we identify the possessive or genitive case of noun in a given sentence, and we shall learn how to make possessive forms of noun in case of singulars, plurals and living or non-living things. First of all, we are going to discuss the concept of possessive case of a noun. Possessive case is sometimes called or is known as genitive case of noun. Let us see its explanation, its definition and its concept. Noun used to show possession, relation or authorship. This possessive noun not only shows the possession, it also shows relation and authorship. But here we are going to discuss the possessive case of noun. Possession means to have something, to possess something, अपने पास कोई चीज होना. Possession means ownership होना किसी भी चीज की. For example, I possess a car means I have a car. Means ownership. I own a car. Means a car is owned by me, a car is possessed by me, or a car is had by me. This shows the possession. For example, Ram's car. This Ram is the possessor who possesses the car, and this car is a possessed thing that is possessed by Ram, that is owned by Ram. Relation. For example, child's face. Face is a part of her body. It is not possession, but it is related. This face is related with this child. Child's face. And in case of authorship, Shakespeare's plays means these plays are written by Shakespeare. In this way, we can show the possessive case of noun. Let us take an example, the student's books. Here is a singular student, one student, and he has many books. He or she, because student is a common noun, we can't say that he can say he or she both. It is a common gender. The student's books. A student, some books or many books possessed by this student. This student is this noun. This is also a noun and this is also a noun. This noun, the student, is the possessor because he or she possesses this noun. And the books, this noun is the thing or things possessed by this possessor. इसमें दो नाउन है, डबल नाउन. एक नाउन दूसरे नाउन का ओनर होता है. ये स्टूडेंट इन बुक्स का ओनर है. ये बुक्स ऐसी थिंग्स हैं which are owned or possessed by the student. How can we find out the possessive case of noun in a given sentence? A very simple formula. For example, put whose plus noun, we get possessive case of noun in that particular sentence. For example, let us take two examples. My uncle's car is expensive. Put whose before this noun. Put whose before this noun. What we get? We get possessive case of noun. For example, whose car is expensive? My uncle's. It means uncle's is the possessive case of noun. Second example, Amit's face seems innocent. Amit's face seems innocent. Put whose in place of, before this noun, in place of this subject. Then we can say whose face seems innocent, we get the answer Amit's. It means Amit is the possessive case of noun in this sentence. In this way, by putting whose before noun, we get the possessive case of noun. And how do we show it? How do we mention it in given sentences? It is always mentioned by apostrophe or of. We have two ways to mention or to show a possession. One is by putting apostrophe after the noun, after the possessor, or by writing of. In case of living things, we usually show possession by using apostrophe. But in case of non-living things, we show possessions. In case of non-living things, we show possessions by writing of instead of apostrophe. In this way, we can show possession in case of living or non-living things in a given sentence. Let us take some example. Try to understand the concept of apostrophe. This sign is known as apostrophe among punctuation marks. This not only shows possession, it is also used to make plurals. What type of plurals? For example, digits or letters, fives. For example, there is a number 4, 5, 6, 5. We can say there are two fives in the above number. And let us take one more example, tomato. There are two T's in the above word. We can say like this. When we make plural of digits or letters, we use apostrophe s to make them plural. Next is contractions. When we contract some words, for example, cannot is written as can't in contractions, or do not is written in don't form. So many other words are also there which are written in contracted forms. We use apostrophe to make contraction of some words. And the last one is which is our topic, possessions. To show possessions, apostrophe is used in case of singular or plural at different places, which we are going to study in detail. For example, Rams, we put apostrophe after Ram and before us, means something possessed by Ram. Girls, it means a singular girl, apostrophe s, and boys, and apostrophe is marked after s. It means this boy is plural, something possessed by the many boys. In this way, we can write, identify or form the possessive case of. Dear students, we have discussed about possessive cases of nouns, and now we are going to learn one more thing. Where do we use apostrophe s and where do we use of? This is a basic difference between the uses of possessive forms of noun. We can say living things and non-living things. We can divide the use of possessive cases of nouns in two parts, for living things and for non-living things. In case of living things, we use apostrophe s. But in case of non-living things, we can't use apostrophe s to show possessions. Here we use of. For example, children's toys. Here children is a living person. That's why we can use apostrophe s, toys. toys belonging to children, children's toys. इसको हम ये नहीं कह सकते toys of children. We shall say children's toys to show possession of toys. Next is horse's feet. Here this horses is a plural noun and a living thing, that's why, and it ends in s, so we put apostrophe after horses. Horses feet. Count horses feet. It means so many horses are there and we have to count their feet. And the next is my father's car. My father is a singular noun, so we use apostrophe s. My father's car. And the next is my uncle's flat. Whose flat? My uncle's flat. These are singular or plural noun. We use in case of living things apostrophe to show possession. But in case of non-living things, we shall never say chairs, the chair's leg. We shall never say the chair's leg. It is wrong to say grammatically. In case of, because the chair is a non-living thing, here we shall say leg of the chair, not the chair's leg. In the same way, cover of the book, not the book's cover, because the book is a non-living thing. In the same way, nib of the pen, not the pen's nib. In case of non-living things, to show possession, we use of. In case of living things, we use apostrophe s to show possession. And some more examples, where do we use possessive form of nouns? For example, nouns referring to time, space and weight. We can use a possessive noun to show time, space and weight. We are going to take some examples. A day's visit. Visit of how many days? A day's visit, a single day visit. A week's holidays. A week's holidays, एक सप्ताह की छुट्टियां, एक दिन की यात्रा. And in the same way, a meter's length. How long? A meter's length. 1 मीटर लंबा, 1 मीटर लंबाई वाला. In this way, we can use possessive form of nouns to mention time, space, weight, length, etc. In the same way, let us take some more example. Governor's bodyguard. Whose bodyguard? Governor's bodyguard. Governor is a living being, that's why we use apostrophe. And duties call. In this way, we can use possessive cases of nouns.